Actually, introduction, as I told you, introduction is the transfer of a plant from one place to other place is known as introduction. It is the transportation of plants from the different agroecological zones to from one zone to other zone. This breeding method is actually common to this is common to all three categories: self-pollinated, cross-pollinated, or asexual. Or asexual means in which the oftenly cross-pollinated you have known this plant. So this is refers to the transposition of the crop plant. Transposition means transfer of a plant from one place to another place where it is not cultivated. Like in our area, if we in our Hushab area, the sugar cane is mostly not cultivated. We can't cultivate this plant. If we start cultivation the sugar cane in our field area, then this is also an introduction of the sugar cane. And if we talk about the almond or the almond and coconut, if we start these plants of growing here, this is also a type of introduction. So introduction is actually the taking a group of genotype from one place to the other place. It may be inter or intra country. It's mean it's mean it is the transfer of a crop variety between a country or between a different countries. So far as the an ancient method of crop improvement, this is mean intra country mean within the country, inter country mean two different countries. So when we talk about the inter country, it is the transfer of a plant from an India to Pakistan, or the like our wheat famous wheat variety Maxi Park 85. This is also a type of introduction because we introduced this variety from the America to the Pakistan. This is also a type of introduction. After the discovery of new world crops, maize, bean, peanut, potato, tomato, American cotton, these are also crops. These are also introduced to the old world, and the new world mean these America, and these are new worlds. And these American crops like tomato, wheat, barley, these are introduced to our old worlds like the Asian countries. Transfer of these crops from the Americans to the Asian countries. This is also the transfer of a new world to the old world. Some vegetables are also introduced. The most important is the wheat, rice, and the sugar cane. These three crops are very important, which is transferred from new world to the old world. Then there is some kind of means or the ways or the methods how these varieties, how these crops are introduced, and how these crops are introduced into the a new place or the new site or the new agroecological zone. So first one, in the old histories, when there is no specific system or the no specific organizations for crop transfer, the travelers are used, or the traders or the invaders, this and the merchants. They actually transfer or introduce a crop from one place to another place. Like in ancient times, in old times, when let's suppose I visit the India or the other country, and I like a wheat variety here. that performing well on that place in India, I have I have purchased some seed of that variety and bring along with me. And this is the transfer of the variety by the early travelers or the invaders or the merchants. But after some time, after a specific time, the time is as the time is gone, there's some development of some new organizations or a specific organizations. Actually, these specific organizations are the then responsible for the means of the introductions. Then the plant material is obtained through the expeditions, a personal visit, correspondence, exchange of material, purchase, or the gift of seeds cuttings. Actually, what is the aim of this specific organization for bringing the transfer of these seed materials? Can anyone know about the and what do you think? Why these organizations, why these specific organizations are formed for this seed transfer? Our work is done with the travelers. So why we need these organization? Why we form this organization? In our less developed or this development country, and we also make a new organization and we have to pay for this. So why we do this? Is there any specific reason? What do you think? Anyone answer? Anyone? What have you think? Why we need to develop this organization? Actually, we have to need to develop these organizations because when other peoples visit the place in other countries or the other agricultural zone or the other provinces, actually they bring a lot of seed with it. But the problem is this: the seed is not tested against the various diseases or the insects. Maybe in the seed, the insect eggs is present, and the weed seed are also present, and the seed is diseased. And so far, we have to need to develop an organization or the system, and this organization is responsible for the checking of the seed. Either the seed is healthy, either the seed is diseased, either any kind of weed seed or the any eggs of any insect is present or not. So this organization is actually the working on this, checking and balancing the seed health. So there is some kind of an introductions. The first one is the primary introduction, and the second one is the secondary introduction. Uh, if we collect some seed from an country or from an agricultural zone and bring this seed along with us and cultivate the seed in our area as such, and the seed perform well. This is known as the primary introduction. It means we collect some seed from one zone and bring this seed along with us and cultivate this seed in another zone without any changing, and the seed perform well. This is known as the primary introduction. While if we bring a seed in our new area and we say that the this area is not suitable to this seed and we have to do some changing in this seed with for the specific environment. So this is known as the secondary introduction. It means we have to change our seed somehow in the environment sensitivity. We have to change some environmental sensitivity, disease attack. So far, this is known as the secondary introduction. There are some kind of purposes of the plant introductions. Economic use for the use as a source of food, vegetable, oil, and the purpose. Study of origin and evolution of their relatives, wild relatives, and for entirely new crop. Actually, maize is a new crop, entirely new crop for Pakistan. We have to introduce this crop from the Mexico. Uh, and so far we have to mention here the maize, soybean, and oil palm. This is new crop to the Pakistan. Totally a new crop means that we have to introduce this crop from the other countries. So if we summarize our introductions, then the plant introduction uses a new variety directly introduced कराई या एक variety. We have to select the best plant from a given variety and introduce in another area. And the this is also a type of introduction. Then we use this plant as a parent in the hybridization, like we introduce two plant and cross these plant, or we have to introduce the one plant and use as the male or the female and cross this plant or hybridize this plant with our local cultivated variety. And this is also type of introduction, like our wheat variety Maxi Park. This is also used as a parent in hybridization and a type of the introduction. If we have to summarize our the introduction, if we have to summarize our introduction, in case of our introduction, there are we have to talk about what is introduction, how or the what is the sources of introduction, how different varieties are introduced to the new areas, then introduction types, what is prime introduction, what is secondary introduction, what is the sources of introduction, and what is the uses of introductions. Then each and everything have the some merits or the demerits. Like if there is any kind of variety is the present or the any method is present, then there is the merits and the demerits are also present. The first one merit is it provides the new crop varieties which are high yielding or directly used for the cultivation. It means we have no need to waste our time on improving of the different varieties. We have to simply introduce a new variety and which is easily introduced to in our environment. Then it provides the new plant species. It provides the parent material for genetic improvements. It enrich our existing germ plots and increase the variability. It may protect the certain plant species when grown into the newer area. Then there are also some demerits of plant introduction, like the introduction of new weeds, maybe in the seed, the new feed varieties are also present. Then this variety is maybe susceptible to some diseases. So like the late blight of potato, this disease variety is actually transferred from the Europe, and the bunchy top of banana, this is also transferred from the Sri Lanka. These two varieties is highly susceptible to our plant, and this is highly yield loss for our these two crop, potato and the banana. Then the new pests are also introduced, like the potato tuber moth. This is came from the Italy. Then sometime our ornamental becoming the weed, like the paper mulberry. This is our ornamental plant, but now this is considered as the weed. Then introduction is also cause some ecological imbalance. Like if we transfer some plants from the wet ecological zone to the dry zone, like our eucalyptus is a desert plant. If we transfer this eucalyptus into the wet zone, this is the imbalancing of our ecology. uh, like if we and now in recent or in our upcoming years, this is a larger ecological imbalance. The rains are on the off times, and on time no rain, while off time a huge rain, and this is actually due to the imbalancing of our ecology. Acclimatization is the process that leads to the adaptation of a variety or to a new environment. Acclimatization is actually a process through which a plant is introduced or acclimatized into the new area. So it is also the ability of variety to become adapted to the new environment. Actually, acclimatization follow an increase in the frequency of genotypes that are better adapted to a new environment. Then our is the method is the selection. Actually, selection is involvement or the identification and propagation of the individual genotype or the groups of genotype from mixed population from segregating population following the hybridization. This is actually the identification of individuals from the mixed population, and these mixed population are then these selected plants are then crossed with each other, and further process is done by the different types of selection like mass selection, pedigree selection, pure line selection, etc., which will be discussed in the further lectures. This lecture method is simple fundamental methods and historical methods. Because how this is historical, because in ancient watch or in the old times the farmers are have no specific method, they have no specific knowledge for the variety development. So he have to select, you have just select the important or the good looking plant or the select the best plant and grow in the next year. This is the historical method. So the basic idea is to purify, and the selection is actually the basic idea how we purify our existing varieties. To get the successful result from the selection, the two prerequisites: variation must be present in the population, the variation must be heritable. As I already told you, the variation is the basic of the plant breeding. If there is no variation, there is the no improvement of the crop. We have to say that for the good variety crop, for the good selection, the variation must be present in the population, and the only present of variation is not sufficient. The variation must be heritable also. Selection in subordinated crops may be of the mass selection and the pure line selection. These two type of selections are present. Hence, there are also pure line selection is also present. Pedigree selection also present. We have to study in the other selection method in further lectures. So this is the breeding method for our self-pollinated crops, and as I already announced, you, our mid exam is on the 3rd of May 2021. The time allowed is only 12 hours. You have to submit your paper within 12 hours. Paper will uploaded 10:30 a.m. and the time and also at the 10:30 p.m. So you have to submit your paper within 12 hours. Uh, so uh,